Long ago, in a humble village struck by a devastating famine, the people lived in fear and desperation. Crops had failed. Food was scarce. Hunger weighed heavily on every home. The village governor, seeing the suffering of his people, made a peculiar announcement.
I will place a great cauldron in the center of the village. Each person must bring 1 cup of milk and pour it into the cauldron. Do this alone, in secret, so that no one will know what you have contributed.
That night, the villagers whispered among themselves. Each person thought, surely, 1 cup of water won't matter if everyone else brings milk. No one will even notice. So, one by one, under the cover of darkness, instead of milk, they poured water into the cauldron. At dawn, the villagers gathered around the cauldron, their eyes filled with hope. This was supposed to be their salvation. The governor approached slowly, his hands trembling as he lifted the lid. Silence. The cauldron was full, but not of rich, nourishing milk. It was filled entirely with water. A gasp of horror spread through the crowd. The villagers looked at each other, their faces turning pale. They had fooled themselves. They had robbed themselves. Instead of trusting one another, instead of giving sincerely, each had thought only of themselves, and now, there was nothing left to save them. The famine continued. And with no food, many suffered. The village, once full of life, was now haunted by regret. That evening, as sorrow filled the air, an old wise man gathered the villagers. His voice was calm, yet heavy with wisdom.
Do you see what has happened? Each of you believed that your small act wouldn't matter. You thought that someone else would take responsibility. But now, because everyone thought the same way, we all face the consequences together. True generosity means giving your best, even when no one is watching. It is not about what others do, it is about what you choose to do.
The old man continued.
It is not the size of your gift that changes the world, but the love and effort behind it. When we all give wholeheartedly, miracles happen even in the darkest times.
A long silence followed. And then, something remarkable happened. One by one, the villagers returned to their homes. This time, not to make excuses. Not to wait for someone else. But to bring what they had, what little milk they could spare. By nightfall, the cauldron was full. Not of regret. Not of selfishness. But of true, life-saving generosity. From that moment on, the village changed. The people no longer waited for someone else to take action. They no longer assumed their small efforts didn't matter. They understood that every single contribution counted. They rebuilt their village, not with grand gestures, but with daily acts of kindness. They shared. They helped. They gave their best, no matter how small. And slowly, their world transformed. Now, ask yourself. In what ways can I contribute today? How can I give my best, even when no one is watching? If this story touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more inspiring TPRS stories that teach English and transform your life.